How's it rockin', Dween Nation? You're listening to the Dween Sports Podcast. We're about to get underway. But before you give us a listen, we'd love if you could like, comment, subscribe, and share. We are posting weekly sports content, and we want to build up the brand that is Dween Sports. Thank you all, and enjoy.
Welcome in, Dween Nation. This is your host, Justin Paez, alongside Janoah Agudelo. And as you can see from my smile, I'm very excited because this is our first ever college football discussion. We've been wanting to get into the game. Obviously, we're both, university students, so we're busy, but this is kind of the feel that we've been wanting to talk about, discussing college football. I know it's already week 11 of the college football season, but we're going to discuss all ranked matchups that are happening this week in our rapid fire kind of way. Obviously, we've been doing that with our NFL game predictions. We're going to do that now with some college football games. So we're just excited to discuss all of them on the slate this week. Got some SEC, got some Big Ten, got some ACC, Big 12. So we're discussing all around all the conferences. We got, obviously, I believe Boise is happening this week. So we got some G5 2 stuff too. So excited to discuss these as fast as we possibly can. But before we do that, how you doing, Janoah?
Yo, Dewey Nation. Justin, I'm doing good. We're kind of officially on the road to the college football playoffs there, Justin. I would say we're a month away from, the committee revealing on who those 12 teams going to be. I do believe the first and second seed there, Justin, have a bye week to kick off this new playoff format, this new era of college football there, Justin, with the NIL and transfer portal, right? We got, teams like, Oklahoma and Texas joining the SEC there. We have the demolition, the first year without the Pac-12, which is such an interesting conference. But, this is the first year we don't see the Pac-12 there, Justin. We have some teams joining the Big Ten there. I do believe that Oregon is with the Big Ten as well. Yeah, the Big Ten, where they're in the Pac-12. We have other teams. The Pac-12 was fun, but it's no longer a thing there now, Justin. And so, this is kind of our coming out party for college football. And, Justin, and not only, Dewey Nation, we haven't done much college, but this is kind of our kickoff of college because, Justin and I are going to be covering a ton of college football playoffs, a ton of bowl games that are outside. Justin is an Aggie. I am a University of Houston Cougar. The Aggies are pretty decent. My Cougars are okay. I'm a lifelong Texas Longhorns fan. I don't call me a bandwagon. But you know what? Those are my two teams. I do love the Aggies. I have some love for my people over there in College Station. So don't get it twisted. I do love all those Texas universities there. But if you want to know something about me, guys, I hate the Sooners, so I'm glad that they're struggling. But thankfully here to kick off our college kind of rapid picks there. And so, Justin, whenever you're ready, I'm excited to kind of count you down there and get your rapid picks for this week.
Yeah, no, I am excited to start that. I will, because it's still kind of fresh news, obviously. Obviously, if you're a crazy college fan, you probably know, but the CFP rankings did come out on Tuesday. So I just wanted to run through them real quick, and then we'll jump into the predictions. Yeah. The two teams looking from the outside in, we got my Aggies, Texas A&M at 14, SMU at 13. Not a bias, but maybe we can have a little argument I don't know how A&M's not above them. But anyway, past that, then the teams that are in the current projected bracket, we had Boise State as the 12th seed, Bama is the 11, Notre Dame at 10, 9 is BYU, who is, killing it in the Big 12 right now. Then we got Indiana is undefeated, Tennessee at 7, Penn State at 6, Texas lands at 5, and then the four teams that are, top four that would get the bye through the first round, we got BYU would get the bye as the best team in the Big 12, but the ranked best number 4 team is Miami, then Georgia, Ohio State, and then Oregon on top of college football right now. Something we didn't think we'd see probably at the start of the season. But let's do it. Let's do these game picks. Count me down. I'm ready to rock.
I will ask before, are the Aggies playing this week? They're not. They're off this week?
They're not. They're on bye this week. So we got, obviously, every week you got a handful of teams on bye. So we won't be discussing all 25 teams because some aren't playing this week. So, yeah, if you don't hear a team, it's probably because they're on bye or they're not ranked anymore. But, yeah, I'm ready to rock. You ready?
All right, here we go. Our first college football rapid picks ready in 3, 2, 1, and go.
All right, we're going to start with Florida at Texas. If DJ Lagway was playing, I'd be more on the Florida side to pull off an upset, but it's not going to happen. Texas gets the victory. Purdue at Ohio State. Ohio State's going to kill it this week. Miami at Georgia Tech. I'm going with Cam Ward. He continues to win, even though I'm expecting a loss to come sooner or later, but they're killing it. They're on fire. Then we're going to jump to Georgia at Ole Miss. That's my game of the week. And Georgia's been killing it. Ole Miss needs this victory, but this is kind of Lane Kiffin's area where he's going to fall, and I think Georgia continues to win, and so they get the victory. Michigan at Indiana. This game's going to be close. Indiana stays undefeated, though, with the victory. Iowa State plays Kansas. Iowa State's going to get a big win, especially coming off the heartbreaking loss that they had last week. Then we got Clemson at Virginia Tech. Clemson, again, they had a heartbreaking loss last week where they were just beat up by Louisville. That doesn't happen this week. They get the win. Army stays hot, beats North Texas. Colorado at Tech might be one of the most underrated games this week, but I think Shador is going to continue to play good, as well as Travis Hunter. Colorado gets the win, and Oregon beats Maryland handily. Tennessee against Mississippi State. Tennessee continues to win as the 7th seed in college football. Florida State's struggling. They play Notre Dame. Notre Dame continues to win. Then we got Bama LSU. Big game this week. This one's a tough one to pick, but I'm going to go with LSU to win at home in Death Valley. Then we got Oklahoma and Missouri. This one's kind of ugly, even though Missouri's a ranked team. I'm going to go with the Missouri Tigers to win. Then we got Washington at Penn State. Penn State wins, but it's going to be a close one again for the Nittany Lions. Then we got Nevada at Boise State. Ashton Genty, keep it going, brother. And I think Boise State wins. Virginia at Pitt. Let's go Pitt. They continue to, or they got smoked last week, so I think they're a fraudulent team, but they win this week. BYU continues to stay undefeated. They win at Utah. And then Wazoo, the Washington State Cougars, play against Utah State, and they get a win.
All right, Justin, you're at 205. I think I'm definitely going to beat you here because, with college takes, you just know who's going to win. You just know who's going to win there.
Some of them are easier.
Some of them are easy.
Yeah,
I think we might have the same picks, but there's one that I think we might be different on.
All right. You ready? Are you ready? I got you.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
All right, there in Austin at DKR Stadium, my Longhorns dominate Florida. Give me my Longhorns. Then we go to Columbus there. Ohio State dominates Purdue. Then we go to Atlanta where Georgia Tech is playing, and I like Cam Ward to kind of continue this Heisman run to kind of catch up there to Jinty. Give me the Hurricanes. Then we go to Oxford where this is going to be a rough and tough game. I would say Lane Kiffin is like the Kyle Shanahan of college football. Give me Georgia to struggle but to win late. Then we go to Bloomington where Indiana plays Michigan. Man, this is a tough game. Michigan's a little bit struggling. Give me Indiana to stay undefeated. We go to Iowa or Kansas City or Missouri where Kansas plays Iowa State. Give me Iowa State to dominate. We go to Virginia Tech there where they're playing Clemson. Give me Clemson to get things back on track there. Then we have North Texas home with Army. This is a trap game, but give me Army to win. Then we go to Lubbock where Texas Tech is home with Colorado. Give me Shador to win on the road. We go to Oregon. Dylan Gabriel dominates, makes a run for the Heisman. Give me Oregon. We go to Knoxville where Tennessee dominates Mississippi State. Then we go to Notre Dame there. They dominate Florida State. Give me the Fighting Irish. My game of the week in Baton Rouge there in Tiger Stadium. Alabama, number 11 Bama versus number 15 LSU Tigers. Give me Jalen Monroe, my Katy, Texas guy, Houston native, to dominate there in Baton Rouge. Give me the Fighting Crimson Tide. And let me go to Columbia, Missouri there, where Missouri's home with Oklahoma. Oklahoma sucks. Give me Mizzou. Then we go to Penn State there, where they dominate Washington. Penn State makes a run to the college football playoffs. Then we go to Boise State. No question there. They go to Nevada there. Derrick Henry Jr. goes off. Then we go to Pittsburgh. They dominate Virginia. We go to Utah. BYU dominates. And then Washington State dominates Utah State.
Wow, you got a minute 59, so you beat the 2 minute. That was good.
I was there under 3 seconds. I would say 6 seconds. 6 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only one that, and it's close, but that Alabama LSU game is kind of the one we need to discuss. But, two teams that, they've had some disappointing losses, you could say, and they haven't been playing to the max of what we, thought they might be this season. But we got Nuss versus Milroe. Um, I mean, obviously the loser is out of the college football playoff discussion. So that's what makes this game so intriguing. It's a night game. But I got to give it to that home crowd. I've never been to an LSU football game, but they've been discussed as one of the top environments. I don't think you can
Oh,
beat the
absolutely.
Aggies at Kyle Field, but I don't know till I've seen it, so I'll give you that.
Yeah.
And then that Georgia Ole Miss game, if Ole Miss can upset them, that'd be some crazy stuff. I just don't think Lane Kiffin's got it. I don't think he's got what it takes. And then that last one before I throw it back to you is that Colorado versus Texas Tech game in Lubbock. Texas Tech just upset Iowa State last week.
Upset, yeah.
So maybe they're riding hot, or maybe they're holding on to that. Oh, they got that big upset. But that's gonna be I think that's gonna be a slugfest. It's gonna be a battle. So I could see that one going either way too. But I do have Colorado.
Yeah, Justin. First and foremost, I'm going to start off with this, Alabama LSU game. First of all, LSU might be late. Might be wide receiver U. I mean, they've produced Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and now this past year's class with Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. And now looking at the receivers right now with Kyron Lacey. I mean, he has 618 yards, 6 touchdowns there, and as well as Aaron Anderson. I think Aaron Anderson's probably going to stay another year, but for sure, Kyron Lacey is going to the draft this year, and he's going to be good wherever he gets drafted there. But he's going to be lined up there with my guy Ryan Williams. I mean, I love Ryan Williams there. I'm so glad that he's going to be staying in college for another year or two. He's barely a freshman. I know the joke where he's only 17. And this is a guy that's going to be dominating. He is a future Heisman winner. I would say I'm penciling him to win the 2025 Heisman Trophy,
Right.
possibly next year. And these are wide receivers lined up there. And one thing you mentioned that I kind of want to go on from, Death Valley is what they call it there in LSU. Definitely one of the more traditional, college football experience there. Kyle Field and Texas A&M has one. I know one of where I go to daycare, where I attend a lot of Longhorn games at DKR, and they have a great tradition. But it's very interesting what they have in Death Valley year in and year out there. That's one of my college bucket lists there, Justin. And hey, you mentioned the Aggies. They did dominate LSU this year in Kyle Field. Maybe, Justin, we can take a trip out there in Baton Rouge next year and see the Aggies, take on those LSU Tigers. But this is a rivalry that stems all the way back. It's somewhat like the Nick Saban Bowl. Nick Saban won a national championship in LSU, goes to Alabama, wins 5 or 6 there. And these are teams that year in and year out, Justin, they have NFL talent, right? I mean, Amari Coopers of the world, and then we have the Odells of the world, and then we have the Julio Jones and the Justin Jeffersons. I mean, and it goes on and on and on. Alabama and LSU go toe to toe. And running backs as well. I would say Alabama produces more running backs that are at a higher level in the NFL. But, so does LSU there. So a ton of future NFL talent here that we could be potentially seeing there. But it all comes down to the quarterback on why I'm going with Alabama. I do like Jalen Milroe more than I like Nussmeier. I think I'm saying his name right.
Nussmeier.
Nussmeier. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Garrett. I know I'm saying your name wrong. But he struggled a few weeks ago in Kyle Field, and I do think that's obviously they're home. He's more limited. He's not too fast. He's more of a pocket passer compared to Jalen Milroe, who can do it all there. And Jalen Milroe has gotten better year in and year out. He's kind of been around with the Crimson Tide, so I do like him to make plays where it matters most, and to shock all the fans there at Death Valley. To kind of look at the other matchups there, in Oxford, I do like Ole Miss to kind of shut down this Georgia offense in the first half. But something like what Georgia was able to do last week, they struggled in the first half, but did find a way to win it in the second half. And I do think that's kind of what Georgia does, the pattern this year. They are the favorite to win it all, in my opinion. I do think that they could beat Oregon. And I do think that they could beat, they beat my Longhorns this year already. So I was at that game. I would say that Georgia has probably one of the better defensive lines I've ever seen in college football. They have NFL ready talent there. The way they're able to get to the line of scrimmage there, Justin, the way they're just physical, they're fast, they're strong, they have all the intangibles there to rush the passer there, and I don't think Ole Miss's offensive line is going to be able to keep up with that. And I do think that Lane Kiffin is not going to be able to adjust there. And I always have this saying in college or in the NFL, it depends on who's your quarterback, and that determines how you win football games. In college football, it's who your head coach is, and that's what's going to win you football games. You had Ed Orgeron, who had a dominant year at LSU, leads that LSU. Obviously, they had a dominant team offensively. They win the Natty, right? Dabo Swinney had some great years. He leads his Clemson Tigers to 2 national championships. Obviously, Nick Saban dominates this era. And it's kind of like how it is recently. And now Kirby Smart, he is one of the newer head coaches, one of the best college football head coaches there, winning back-to-back. He is that, voice of that team. And then last year, obviously, Jim Harbaugh is now a coach of the Chargers, but he was that vocal point there to recruit these. He was at Michigan for nearly 10 years and finally gets over the hump and wins a natty. So it's always the head coach there that is the quarterback of college football, as to say there. And kind of like with my Longhorns there, we've had guys like Charlie Smart there and Tom Herman. They weren't really the guys, but we get a guy in Sark who was a great offense coordinator with the Falcons. Goes to Alabama. Orchestrates that dominant Alabama offense in 2020. Wins the Natty, and so college head coaches are the reason why players want to play. They transfer. One last thing I want to mention in Colorado, I love me the Sanders family. I know they get a lot of hate there, and I do think that sometimes they do get easier opponents. But I like Shadur there. I'm a big fan of Shadur. I love me some Travis Hunter. It's going to be very interesting there, Justin, on what his decision is going to be or what to play in the NFL. I think he should go wide receiver, so that way, Justin, you and I can fight over on drafting him next year. You know what I'm saying? I do think you'll try to steal him from me, but I like Hunter. He's a sensational wide receiver there. And so, some interesting matchups this week. And so I'm going to keep a close eye. My game of the week is definitely Alabama and LSU.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this weekend of college football. Even without my Aggies playing, there's still so many games every weekend to get a watch on, and there's only 4 more weeks of it before we get some championship matchups, then bowl games, and the playoffs. So not much time left. So enjoy every second you can. Thank you guys for listening to our college football kickoff, what we'd like to deem it as, heading forward. So thank you guys for listening, and Janoah, send us out.
Yo, Dewey Nation, this was our first college football video of the year. So excited. I do see maybe later down the line, Justin and I can do some of like a bracket prediction. And kind of once the committee announces that, one of our things that Justin and I like to do, we usually spend New Year's with family, and we usually watch a ton of college football playoffs. I remember one memorable one was our guy CJ Stroud falling short to Georgia. I remember we were together popping fireworks watching that game.
Yeah.
And so, I remember one year we went to your friend's house and saw Georgia's first, title run, leading that year. And so, definitely college football playoffs is going to be very interesting, very unique this year. And it kind of ends throughout January, Dewey Nation. So mid-January, we might know who's, going to the Super Bowl before we know who's winning the Natty there. So definitely interested in that there. So if you're a big college person, definitely share us out there, Dewey Nation. Thanks for watching. We love you guys. And as always, peace.